Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our success stories at the MBA Edge. Today, I have a very special guest, Yash, who comes with a unique background. He has he belongs to the Indian IT, but he what really sets him apart is his passion to really to add value, to create impact, and to help others. With this theme in mind, we will just get down and talk to Yash. So, Yash, why don't you just briefly tell us about yourself and what was your aspiration behind applying for an MBA program?
All right. Hi, I'm Yash. I'm from Mumbai. I did my Btech from Somaiya College of Engineering Vidya. And since the last 5 years, I've been working as a cybersecurity analyst at Accenture. So my job role involved, it was like the first line of defense against the hackers. And I worked with various US-based healthcare clients, and it has been a great journey. But right now, I was in a really niche field, I would say, and I crave something really which is more strategic and has more impact on the business. So that's where I thought about MBA, and the search started around 2023, and I started researching colleges, and I'll tell you about my journey. So this is like my brief introduction.
So, Yash, you come from that Indian IT male cohort, right? I think pan across India, there's this notion that it's probably one of the worst places to be and really not conducive from an application point of view. So, why don't you just tell us about your thought process in terms of how you approach the MBA application process? Because I remember that when you first approached us, you were extremely nervous. You kept asking me whether you can actually make it to an MBA program or not. So, I mean, what's the journey been like?
I mean, see, the point was I was like literally doom scrolling GMAT Club and Reddit, and I was asking questions continuously. Like, see, the special point of me was me being an engineer. I had a 690 GMAT, of course, but my verbal and split, which you can say, was like
Yeah.
unbalanced. In my verbal, being an engineer, I had the 96th percentile, and in quant, I had the 33rd percentile. So I genuinely thought that this was going to hurt me really badly, and I wasn't sure if schools would look past that. But I took the risk anyway. And coming to my application process, of course, I was told by you to improve my GMAT, and I gave a couple of attempts, but due to some health reasons, I it just couldn't work out. So I basically, what you can say, started the process of looking at consultants, and I literally interviewed around 7 to 8 consultants, like face to face before choosing you, of course, because your focus was just not on stats or ranking, but it was really on the fit. Like your focus was you have to match the vibe with the college. And that's where the journey started basically. I went to Taj Lands and about 5 times, and I went to those MBA fairs. I interacted with the admissions committee, as you said, just trying to find the vibe with the college and trying to find whether I want to go to this particular college. And I had a list of 15 to 20 schools basically. And I was really obsessed with rankings. I should go to a top 20, top 30, top 10. And that's where I feel that majority of the MBA aspirants like put a gun on their feet because it's not about the ranking, it's about the fit.
Yeah.
So I interviewed the admissions committee. I tried to understand what the school is about, but what really differentiated is the me finding the vibe with the school. And from 15 schools, 15 to 20 schools, in round one, my school list went down to the last four. And that's where I concentrated the most.
Yeah.
And I got accepted in, I interviewed at three. Of course, I got rejected by one. And I basically cleared all the three B schools I interviewed at.
So yeah, if you can just maybe tell us about what your final outcome was with schools and what was the final, final
Okay.
offering from their end?
All right. The first one was, of course, University of Notre Dame. I got around 50% scholarship. Again, it there was Simon Business School, Rochester University, and again I got a 50% scholarship over there as well. And there was BU Custom, where I got around $100,000, but I did not choose the school because of my professional aspirations.
Understood. Yash, when you look back at your journey, right? I mean, you briefly did talk about this, but when you look back at your journey, what do you think, made you stand apart from the other applicants? And, what are the factors that really worked in your favor and differentiated you?
Yeah, so yeah, sure. Yeah, first one I would say is I was really realistic and down to earth about my goals, about my schools, and I was really hyper realistic about my goals. Like I used to ask you continuously, like, is this school good fit for me? Is it too aspirational? Is it too low for me? So I was really hyper realistic about my goals. And second one, the main thing is you write your own stories. All essays were mine. I mean, you pushed me to dig deep and be authentic. But what I felt was, for example, in Notre Dame, you have to give one presentation about yourself. You have to make a slide of 4 about your life. And I made a slide about that. I explained my life beautifully through photos. The second one was an essay in which you had to relate to the founder of Notre Dame. And I explained my entire life story in it. And I wrote it, of course, really nicely. And the third one would I would say the third factor which really worked for me was connecting with the school on a personal level with their mission itself. I mean, for Notre Dame, of course, it was the alumni base of Notre Dame is really strong and they always focus on giving back. That's what where I felt that I would fit in properly, and that's how I gave my interviews, of course. And honestly, I think my interview performance as well, because I had clarity and confidence of my own story, and I knew my story inside and out, and that's
Yeah.
why these favors, like these things, worked out for me perfectly.
Okay. No, that's interesting. I think it's pretty important to, have that uniqueness in your profile. Otherwise, most people just tend to approach it from a template point of view, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
from I've
yeah,
seen on Reddit, I've seen
yeah,
from my club, it's all about the ranking.
yeah. No, that's important. So, Yash, what made you opt for Mendoza over another? I think you had two other tempting offers, right? One was BU Questrom with almost $100,000 scholarship, and Simon with almost 50% scholarship, right? So, why Mendoza over the other two
Uh,
schools?
Yeah, it was a tough choice, but I had nailed it down to two schools, Simon and Mendoza, of course.
Yeah.
But I decided to go deeper and like I I would like I wanted to know where I would grow differently and grow more personally. So I met the alumni which are based in India. Like
Okay.
before my itself, I went to a career fair, like the MBA fair, and I literally went to the alumni and I talked to the alumni about the culture and how it would fit. Again, the focus is
Yeah.
always on fit. And
Yeah.
then there was this Notre Dame club based out of in Mumbai. So they invited us all to basically watch the final of American football. I'm not sure what it's called, but it was against Ohio State and it
Yeah.
was at 6 a.m. in the morning. And I was quite shocked that so many people from Notre Dame came to Mumbai and Lower Parel at 6 a.m. And I watched the game with the chief investment officer of Deutsche Bank, who
Okay.
is a mentor
Interesting.
alum as well. And the experience basically sealed it. And I could see myself thriving in Mendoza.
Interesting. Yeah. Watching a football match with a CIO, no one thought that was 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yes, yes, yes.
I mean, interesting.
Yes.
As a
It was
CEO.
his
Yeah.
theater
Yeah.
as well. Um,
Yeah,
so he invited us all and we watched the game basically, and we had so much fun. And there were parents of current Notre Dame students as well.
okay,
And what one parent told me that her kids have been to UCLA, USC, but she said कि जो family वाली feeling आती है वो Notre Dame में आती है, बाकी किधर नहीं आती है. So it was just the experience just sealed it for me.
interesting. Now, Yash, so looking back at your journey, and if you were to advise other MBA applicants or aspirants who are, in a similar boat that you were almost roughly what over a year back, so what would be the three takeaways for you, from this entire journey?
Mm, I would say GMAT, which I had stressed so much over. I mean, I was constantly looking, well, with this GMAT, will I get in? But at the end of the day, it's just a factor. It's not the whole story. It's not the whole package. The second one is that you need to own your story. You need to write your own essays, reflect deeply, because this 1 year of entire application has completely changed me. I mean, if you write your story, you contemplate on your career, you try to find who are you exactly before going to a business school. And that's what the journey basically taught me. And yeah, like I faced a rejection as well, and I was shattered when I got rejected by Georgia Tech, and it was like my dream school to go to. Me being a technology guy, I really wanted to get into Georgia Tech, but of course, rejections are a part of it, and rejections happen because if you need to think about it from a school perspective as well, because they also need to make a cohort which are people from different background, different industries, different age group. And it's just that when, of course, the admission cycle this year was really competitive, and many people applied to B schools. And what I felt was at Georgia Tech, there was no place for me basically. So you don't need to take it personally. It's just that the B school people are also like making their own cohort, and they need to tailor make it every year. And this was the third one, and the fourth one was a special point.
Yeah.
Abhinav is the best, and
Mm,
MBA is the best, and like you really
right.
helped me.
Yeah.
Um, it really changed the how I look at admissions and how I look at my career. So thank you, Abhinav.
Any words of encouragement to your fellow uh, IT male Indians who sort of are very apprehensive about the MBA applications, and they tend to look at themselves as on the back foot in the MBA process.
I would say, no, see, I was a cybersecurity guy, so of course I had impact on business, but I did not have direct impact. I would say कि just, I was saving my clients from fines, compliance fines, etc. But what I feel is that when you are applying to a business school, start looking at your professional life from a business point of view, like the kind of impact you have made in your career in terms of revenue, etc., and try to change your perspective. You're just not a coder anymore. You are going to a business school. You're going to make impact on the business. And while applying, like create a resume in such a way that it shows business impact rather than your technical skills. Um,
Yeah.
and don't worry much about GMAT. Of course, GMAT is a factor, and uh, don't read Reddit, obviously, and don't search Indian IT mail on Google, because it will make you nervous. Like you will think that you will go to a really bad business school. It's just people are trying to scare you a lot, and during this journey, the more you read on online forums, the more nervous you get. So I would say focus on your journey, focus on your story, and yeah, that's about it. You do you, and eventually you will get in. You will find a fit, you will find a place which accepts you with a whole heart. Um, yeah, and that's about it.
Thank you, Yash. Thank you for the lovely conversation. I mean, it was really insightful and wish you all the best with your MBA. I mean, we look forward to you, making an impact, I think, subsequently in your career and then even post Mendoza. So all the best and thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.